is trade tensions impacting markets. Markets pointing to a sell-off at the opening of trading this morning after President Trump last night proposed slapping an additional $100 billion in tariffs on Chinese goods. The move coming a day after Beijing announced plans to impose tariffs on $50 billion worth of U.S. products, including soybeans and airplanes, two of the most important exports out of the U.S., in response to a U.S. move to slap the same amount of tariffs on Chinese imports. It has become a tit for tat. Announcing the decision, President Trump said in a statement, quote, rather than remedy its misconduct, China has chosen to harm our farmers and manufacturers. Here's what the director of National Economic Council, Larry Kudlow, told me yesterday when I asked him about the back and forth between the two countries.
As part of this potential deal, and I think we are going to get a deal over a period of time, yes, I think these barriers will come down on both sides. And that's a key point from the president. He understands perfectly well that economies do better when trading barriers are reduced rather than raised. You know, the tit-for-tat idea really doesn't work in economic terms over a period of time.
China is now vowing to fight the U.S., quote, at any cost. Joining us right now to talk more about all of this, the Daily Beast columnist and author of The Coming Collapse of China, Gordon Chang. Gordon, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. So, the U.S. imposes tariffs. China comes back. The U.S. goes back on that. It feels like it is a trade war, Gordon.
It does certainly feel that way. Now, President Trump on Wednesday tweeted it's not a trade war. And indeed, you could say that this is something even bigger than that. That's a fight for U.S. innovation to protect that. The overriding reality, Maria, is that over the course of decades, China has been trying to undermine our economy in malicious ways. And whether you call it a trade war, trade struggle, or whatever, it is something that the president obviously has to fight back, and he is.
Look, whatever comes out of this, we know that there is a $375 billion deficit with China. So is China going to make more moves to mess around with that deficit? They've got a surplus of $375 billion. What else do they want to do to mess with that?
Yeah, they really can't do this because they're just bringing a squirt gun to a pistol fight. Last year, 88.8% of China's overall merchandise trade surplus related to sales to the U.S. They are so dependent on our market. We've got the much bigger economy. Our economy, in fact, is growing faster than theirs. And our economy, Maria, is stable, and theirs is heading to a debt crisis. President Trump knows that, and that's why he's not backing off of this, and that's a good thing.
So this is clearly a negotiation. I mean, I'm in the camp that says this is a negotiating tactic. The president likes to lead big,
I agree
to
with
bring
you.
people to the table. My question for you is, do the Chinese respond well to that tactic, or do they not? Is there risk that this could actually backfire? I see what he's doing, but could it backfire given how the Chinese tend to respond to these things?
Yeah, anything can happen. And the problem here is that for decades, we've had American presidents say, oh, you know, China, you've got to come to the table. You've got to negotiate. You've got to open up your economy. We threaten, and we never really do anything. The Chinese have sort of become accustomed to ignoring our threats. So you have now a president who actually might carry through, and so therefore that's the risk. But we have sort of taught the Chinese to ignore our warnings. We've got to change that right away.
Yeah, I think one of the important things that you just mentioned, a debt crisis that they're going through, a headline that's coming out today is that H&A is looking to get rid of their stake in Hilton. It's a $6.5 billion stake. And so where do you see that? I feel like they're in a precarious position. They're worried about liquidity over there. They're debt-laden. How does that play into all of this, not only with the United States, but globally?
Well, it certainly weakens China's hand. You know, China is growing maybe about 1.5%, maybe a little bit under 2%. We're growing at 2.9%. And the thing is, China's incurring debt at the pace of about 20% a year in order to create that 2% growth. Now, you can do it in a state-dominated economy, but you can't do it for very long. There's a lot of pessimism inside China about this. That's why we had about $2.1 trillion of net capital outflow in 2015, 2016. The only way the Chinese stop that is draconian capital controls in 2017, many of them off the books. This is completely unsustainable for Beijing, and Trump knows it. That's the great thing.
That's important. Go ahead, Stephanie.
I wanted to ask if you think this is part of a bigger negotiation tactic vis-a-vis North Korea. I mean, how much of this tariff back and forth is really about bringing pressure to bear on the Chinese to be more cooperative in terms of, working with North Korea?
It could very well play out that way, and I don't know what the president intends, but obviously we're no longer stovepiping these relations with Beijing. In the past, we had this idea, we only talk about trade with trade, we only talk about geopolitics on geopolitics issues. Now, all of this is colliding, and it means that the Chinese are starting to understand for the first time that the United States has a new type of leadership. For 4 decades, it has been the policy of the United States to support the Communist Party of China. No longer true under Trump. That's a good thing, but China is slowly adjusting to it, and they just don't know what to do right now.
Sounds like you're not worried about this.
I'm worried about this, of course. You've got to be worried about it, but nonetheless, we're backed into a corner. We have no choice. And so we can't think that after misguided policies of decades that there are no-cost solutions. There are going to be costs. We got to be honest with the American people about that. But we got to do this if we're going to have any future, Maria.
Wow, really good stuff. Gordon, great to have you on the program this morning.
Thanks
so
Maria.
much. Gordon Chang,